Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here this month with a shop update preview. The shop update will be this Friday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at pineappleyarn.com. I have a lot of beautiful spring goodies that I'm adding to the shop, so let's get started. For those of you who might be new here, my name's Marina. I am the creator and owner of Pineapple Yarn, which is a hand-dyed yarn and supplies company here in coastal South Carolina. It is a one-woman show here. I'm the only person behind the scenes, and it's great. Everything has my own touch to it, and I put some beautiful things that I'm really loving this month into the shop. One thing I've been doing for 2025 is doing a colorway every month, and for those of you who might have been with me for the past several years, several years ago, I used to actually have a subscription for monthly colorways, and I loved doing that. I may bring it back to the shop eventually, time permitting, but until then, I'm actually adding the colorway to the shop. And so this month's colorway is May 2025, and I did it in these beautiful light and bright colors. So I did shades of clear, bright pink, a little hint of purple, and then of course that yellowy green with speckles in it. So this is what it looks like on my Lonnie sock base, which is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. So it's a nice all around sock fingering weight base. I love that it has nylon in it. It's great for socks, but just kind of an all-around good base. So I will have the May 2025 colorway on my Lonnie sock base. I'll also have it on my Lonnie DK base, which again is a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, but in the DK weight, which is really nice. And I will also have it on my Lonnie my Nala sock base, which is a thicker fingering weight, 2-ply, and it's an 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. I will also have my colorway on my Lonnie sock base, but in the form of a sock set. So here are the sock sets for this month, and I think they're so light and bright and pretty. I added this, it's not a mint green, it's like a really pretty cool blue. I guess it does have a little bit of mint to it, but it's a little more blue and less green. I think it's so beautiful. And the mini that is included is also on my Lonnie sock base. So that is a total of 120 grams, definitely plenty for socks. I've also seen some different shawl patterns that use sock sets, and I just think it's such a great idea. So that is my May 2025 colorway. I hope you love it. I thought it would be really great to do something light and bright this month. And then I also have some spinning fiber. This is also May 2025. This is on Falkland. So that is more of a punchy version of my colorway. Has the greens, the pinks, and it does have some purple thrown in there as well. So I will have this on Falkland. I will also have it on superwash merino nylon, and I just love the way that turned out. I think that's so pretty. And each of these braids are 100 grams, so really nice weight. It's a really nice amount, I guess, for a project, and you could also kind of play with mixing and matching some from your stash. This is my custom blend. This is made specifically, well, I designed this and this blend is made specifically for the shop. It is amazing. It is merino wool, baby alpaca, and a hollow glitter blend. So it is so nice. So I will have all three of those fibers in the May colorway in case you're interested. So those will be in the shop. And in addition to my May colorway, I will also be restocking Bright Mint on my Neon Confetti base. So that is so, so fun. I love that base with all of the pretty naps in it. And that color is just so bright. And from a custom order, I actually have Icy Mint, which was it was kind of a mistake colorway, and it's similar to Bright Mint, but it's very, very pale. So let me show it against Bright Mint. They're very similar, but definitely Bright Mint is more saturated. So those would be really fun together in a project if you like the bright minty color. And then I have several sock sets that I'll be putting in the shop. They're one of a kind, and they're a continuation of a line that I used to have several years ago when I was, before I took a hiatus and closed the shop for a bit. So this is my end of the day line. I'm trying to find the first one. I think this is the first one. This is end of the day number 66. So what I do with my end of the day colorways is I take all of my leftover dyes and I clean out all of my containers, and I'm cleaning them out by pouring them on my wool. So you come up with these beautiful layered colors and nuances. So I did 4 different colorways for end of the day and put them all in sock sets. So this is number 66. And then number 67 was really interesting because even though I dyed these skeins in the same pan, they turned out really different. So here is we'll call it lot A for number 67. And that is how these two came out. And so you can see there's some oranges, yellows, kind of some brighter colors in there. And then the same skeins out of the same pan, applied the dye the same, but they came out really different. So these are also end of the day number 67, but this is lot B. And as you can see, there's basically no yellow, maybe a little bit on the bottom of that skein. And I saw a little bit of orange, a little tiny bit right there. But other than that, I feel like these look so different than these. So I just put them as 2 different lots. So they're similar but different. And then let's see. 67, 66, 67. Let's do end of the day 68. And I think these are beautiful. So I paired those with a gorgeous kind of a cornflower blue. This is really similar to Sea Spray, which is my new color. It actually matches my shirt really well. I love this color of blue. I think it's so pretty. And I love this one because it has, I love end of the day colorways. I'm going to give you an example. All these skeins just have these beautiful different color variations. Like the back of this skein, as you can see, it just has that little swipe of mint. Do you see that? Just that little bit. And I just think that that's so special because when you're knitting, every stitch will pick up these aren't speckled, but when you are knitting a speckled yarn or something that's hand dyed, a lot of times you'll just see a wash of color, just a little bit, just for a few stitches, and it just makes the whole experience really special. So anyway, this is end of the day 68, and I'll have several of those in the shop. And then I will also have end of the day number 69, making sure I'm getting these right. And I really liked these with the deep turquoise and the pop of the peach minis. Those are just so pretty. These would be so pretty knit up. The gold, there's some mint. So all of these are coordinating to some extent because I use similar colors in all of my dyeing, but they're all different. So especially with the mini added to them, you know, you add that mini skein with your socks, that just is going to add that pop of color and really be a nice contrast, or it will really accent the color that's in there. So I always try to do a good contrast with the minis, but then I love sometimes when there's just a little bit of, let's say this neon, I think this is Nectar Glow. Just a little bit of that Nectar Glow maybe like right here, and it picks up on that. It's so fun. So those are all of my end of the day sock sets that I will be putting into the shop this month. And I also have some really fun summery needle stoppers. I will have lots of different colors in these. The first color is this really pretty mustard yellow. I hope you can see those. It's kind of hard because they're so small. I have this really pretty peachy color. It's almost like my Nectar Glow colorway. I have sage green. I have this gorgeous metallic rose gold. And let's see, I've got two more colors. I've got some darker colors, which are kind of nice. This really pretty kind of a forest green. And then also this really pretty deep burgundy color. So I will have all of those, and I don't know if maybe some of you aren't familiar with needle stoppers. Basically, they just have a hole in them, and maybe you can see that. And they're made of silicone, so they're just slightly stretchy, and you put them over your needles when you're knitting, when you have knitting on your needles. First of all, to protect your needle tips, because they're very sharp. So I guess it's protecting the needles, but it's protecting you or someone else from getting injured from them. But then also they are so great for keeping your projects on your needles. So those are so pretty. You will get a pair in each packet. So I thought those were so pretty for summer. I can't decide. I'm pretty sure this is probably my favorite color. I just love that kind of mustard yellow color, like a chartreuse yellowy green. But then I also really like this neon pinky peach color. I think those are so pretty. And these would coordinate so well together, wouldn't they? They're so pretty. All right, so those are Monstera leaves. And then I also have some really pretty shells. I really liked these because they're more subtle. They're not as bright as the Monstera leaves, but they actually look like the colors you would find at the beach. So here's the first one. It's just this really pretty kind of scallop shell in a subtle peach color. And then I have them in a kind of a light chocolate brown, which is very pretty. And then the third color I have is this really pretty gray. So I like them because they're more neutral. They're just very calming. The colors are very, you know, if you don't always want all the neons all the time, these are really pretty for more neutral knitting. And those are all three of the colors that I will have in those. So they're very pretty. So lots of new, really fun, beachy needle stoppers are going into the shop, so that's exciting. And then the last thing I am going to be putting in the shop is something I've never offered before. I'm so excited, and it is hand-woven dish towels. So if you do not watch my monthly making podcast, you'll have to go check it out. I recently purchased a beautiful baby wolf floor loom from Shacked, and it has been so much fun. I've been weaving all the dish towels, so many dish towels, and I thought that maybe I would share some of them with you because I have so many of them. So for many years, I used to weave on a rigid huddle loom, and that was really fun, but I couldn't weave dish towels fast enough to gift them really, because it's just so much of a slower process. And so now I'm able to weave so many. I can weave all I want. But these are the first colors that I will be putting in the shop, and I designed them so they would be similar to my May colorway, which I thought was really fun. So I'll give you a close-up of that stack. They will all be around that same kind of palette. And so I'm going to open one up and show you. This was so much fun. For the warp, which are the threads coming on the loom, and then the weft is what you're actually weaving with. So the warp, it stays the same throughout the whole process. And you can change the colors by changing the weft, by changing the color of yarn you're actually weaving with. And so what I did is I did a really subtle stripe in the warp, and then changed the weft and just made it pretty subtle, and just really let the warp shine on this. And I think they turned out so pretty. They're so nice for summer and spring, and these are 100% cotton, which I love. I don't want to say I'm a particular person, but I do have things that I'm kind of picky about. And one of them are dish towels. I do not like having polyester in my dish towels. So I love using my hand woven dish towels because I control what goes in them. And I just love the fact that these are cotton, they're soft, they're super absorbent, and they're really durable. The dish towels that I wove on my rigid heddle loom years ago, we're talking 2020, 2021, they're still going strong, and I wash them, dry them. I maybe use bleach on them. I don't even know. I don't usually use bleach, but they have been through quite a lot. So these are very durable. And then what I do is I machine finish the hems. So I machine stitch each hem. They are pre-shrunk. And you know what I didn't do is I have not measured these dish towels. So I do have measuring tapes in the shop if you're interested. I love these measuring tapes. So let's go ahead and measure them. This one is about 15.5 inches. So they're all going to be about 15.5 inches by maybe 24.5 inches. So they're a nice size. They're not too big, they're not too small. And yeah, so this is, I guess I'll call these May 2025 dish towels. Other parts of the world call them tea towels, but I guess here in the States we call them dish towels or kitchen towels. But they're really nice. They're such a nice gift, a hostess gift, a Mother's Day gift, a birthday gift. They're just really nice and very much appreciated because they're so useful and they're so pretty. They're one thing I love about hand woven towels is that just like with a hand-dyed yarn, with a hand-dyed yarn, you have all the nuances in your knitting, and you just love seeing all the color variations and how different stitches come together. It's the same thing when you are weaving. All the colors blend depending on what color is the weft, what color is the warp, and they all turn out differently. So for example, I wove this one in a really pretty bright green, which is probably close to this middle stripe, and it just changes the color so much compared to this one. So this one, I'm pretty sure I wove it with white, and this one is green. So they're kind of matching, but kind of not. So that's really nice, but they'll all be some kind of variation. So this one I wove with a darker pink color, and this one's so pretty. But look at how the pink blends with all the green in that section of the warp. I don't know if you can actually see it. I did take some nice photos for the shop because I wanted you to at least see and appreciate all of these different color nuances and the variations that go into it, because it's so beautiful and it's so satisfying. So that is that run of dish towels. They will come packaged with just a band around them for now, like that. So this is one that I wove with all of my leftover bobbins. So as you can see, it has some stripes in it. It's all the same colors, but just some stripes. That will be in the shop. And this one will be in the shop. This one was woven with a really pretty, it's a light pink, but it is almost lavender. Very, very pretty. So that's how they'll come packaged, which is nice for gift giving, and it's just a simple label around it for now. So that's the May 2025 towels. And then I'll also be putting a couple more in. Now these I had no intention of putting into the shop. These were woven for me, for what my kitchen looks like. And I have oak cabinets, and so I wanted to do something that was warmer colors. I wanted to use like a rust color, a terracotta, beige. And so these are the ones that I came up with, and I love these. These are a little different than the ones I just showed you. They are woven with a plain cotton, and then the warp is a cotton boucle. So I don't know if this will show up on camera, but I have taken pictures for the shop. It is kind of a nubby texture. It just has a little bit of a texture, almost like a towel, like an actual, it's not as absorbent or like a terry cloth, like a bath towel, but just a little more similar to that. But they are 100% cotton. They're very absorbent. And these towels measure, they're a little bit wider. These are about 18.5 inches by maybe this one's 24.5 inches. They'll all be around that length. But again, they may be a little different because they are hand woven. These also have the hand stitched hems on either end. And then the selvages on the sides are just the way that they're woven right off the loom. So they don't have hems on the edges. So that one's really pretty. This one has a lot of peach in it. The entire weft is peach, and then the warp is striped with all these colors. So as you can tell, the drape on this is just gorgeous. Very pretty. So I'll have a couple of those, and then I have two that are squares. And so this one is squares, and it was woven in more of like I think I used a white for the weft, because as you can see, this square here is a solid white. So it kind of lightened up all the squares, and really, really pretty, and I edged it in black. And this one I did the stripes in a boucle, and then I did the rest of the weft in just a smooth cotton. So that's really pretty. And then I did one more that's very similar, but it doesn't have, it just has the black stripes going down, and it has a natural stripe, which is very subtle, and it's probably not, it's not readily apparent, but just a little bit of an accent, which is really nice. So I will have those in the shop as well. I don't know what these will be called. Obviously you'll see them. You'll see them when I put them in the shop, and I will have more photos, but I just thought these were really pretty. And with my last monthly making podcast, I did show some other towels, my Peachy Day towels, which were they're so beautiful. They are woven with these colors, and I loved it. I based it on this colorway, and I decided not to put them in the shop, as well as some other lavender towels that I had woven. And the reason is because I really pride myself on having quality items in my shop, and I don't want to have things that have mistakes unless I specifically say that they're seconds, like, you know, once a year or thereabouts, I'll have like a seconds sale, you know, mystery yarn bundles, something like that, where maybe, you know, a tonal yarn got speckles on it on accident or something like that. A color wasn't quite right, but I would never sell that as being perfect. If that makes sense? And so with the towels, my Peachy Day towels they're great and I can't wait to use them, but they just weren't the quality that I would put in the shop. So I'm really sorry if any of you were looking forward to that, but I may weave them up again and put some in the shop, but for now I'm not going to put that run in the shop just because I want to keep everything really high quality, and because I know you expect that, and I know that yeah, you deserve something that is a high quality product. So that is basically all I have to share with you for the shop update this month. I don't have a lot of other things because I have been busy dyeing advent calendars. So many, and I love it. They're so beautiful. I'm having such a good time doing it, but it's a lot of work. Obviously, I'm sure you understand. But I do have a few more left in the shop. So if you're interested, I will also link those below. They're in the shop. And I have those available on my Lonnie sock base as well as my Lonnie DK base. And it's 24 minis. It has extras. It has a few little goodies in the shop, and then there's also some extras like project bags, wool wash that coordinate with the calendar. So it's just so fun, and it's such a great way to treat yourself at the end of the year. I like to save, this is just me personally, but I like to save my advent calendar until January or February, because I'm always so busy in December that I kind of like when everything dies down and it's really cold. You know, January and February are really cold. And it's just such a nice way it's just nice to look forward to something and treat yourself. But regardless of what time of the year it is, I think advent calendars are really fun. And, but those are available in the shop right now. So again, my shop update will be this Friday, May 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at pineappleyarn.com. I appreciate you spending this time with me so much. Thank you for joining me. I will have another shop update preview next month. But until then, I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.